As soon as that clock starts, your ass is mine.
When I met Justin Herbert, man, that dude is big as hell.
You know, the goal is to just keep it rolling.
But come in hype because we have a lot of things to be excited about.
All right, guys, we are back with another Bolt Insight, and we are super pumped to have Ty Long. What is going on, Ty?
What's up, brother? Glad to be here.
Dude, super pumped to have you. Okay, cool. A quick question. Want to get it right out of the way. You are a team captain. I got to know, do you guys have like a special private bathroom? Do you have like a lounge that you guys get access to as being a captain? How does that work?
You know, we don't. The only benefit, you wanna know what it is?
What?
You get a C on your chest. That's about it. So, but no, it's cool, man. You know, I've been on team 3 years. They started making me a captain like midway through my first year. So being a captain 2.5 years is something cool because it's like your teammates are picking you. You know, it's something. It's just an honor, you know. But it takes, you know, you got to be a leader at all times. You know, even when it's tough. You know, that's the part of being a leader. When times are tough, you got to keep pushing. And you know, but it's there's so many good guys on our team. Like, literally, I played on a lot of teams. There's a bunch of good dudes on Chargers, so it's a cool team to be a part of.
Yeah, that's awesome. We love watching you guys play, and it just seems like the energy is just way more positive than some of the other teams and some of the other stories you hear come out. It's like Chargers wouldn't do that. Charger players wouldn't do that.
No. There's not many. I'll say this. Like I said, I've been around. I've been with the Washington, been with Pittsburgh, you know, and both of those are good teams, and been around and just heard stories around the league. And, you know, Tom Telesco and ownership, they don't bring bad people into the building. They don't, you know, and that's one thing that's impressed me over the 3 years I've been there. It's just like each draft class, each guy they sign, it's just like, man, like it's impressive.
Yeah, that's awesome. We're very lucky that that's the case. And I wanted to kick it off with, you coming into the league, you started with Washington, you know, like what was it like going from college, being in the NFL?
It's a lot, you know. Your rookie year it's so much, you know, because the reality of now it's a business, you know, you're not a college student anymore. Getting used to the schedule, it's a lot, you know, getting used to the pressures of the job. And, you know, it takes a good bit, you know, especially for specialists when there's one on each team, usually, you know, it's hard to make it in your first year or so, you know. And for me, though, going to Washington, I got to be around guys like Tress Way and Kai Forbath and guys like that. And I got to learn from them. And it was cool. You know, it's a good experience. And, you know, it was a fun time.
Well, it was interesting. I was doing research for this interview and I was looking at it and it looked like you and Dustin missed each other by like a month and a half in Washington.
Literally.
So that's crazy. And then now you guys are on the same team. Like, what is it like, you know, working with Dustin? He seems like a really cool guy.
He is one of the funniest humans I've been around, you know? And so, I mean, the whole group, I mean, Matt, Tristan, Dustin, you know, we all are just great friends. And, you know, Dustin is so good at first off his job. But he's such a good teammate in the sense of, you know, being a specialist, when you get one opportunity every 24 minutes, 25 minutes, whatever it is, there's you get one shot, you know, and there's sometimes it doesn't go your way, you know, and there's times where you come off the field and you're just like, yeah, dang it, you know, like I wish I could have done better. And Dustin's so good at, you know, at talking to you. And that's the good thing about all of us is we all work together in the sense of keeping each other up through the good times and through the hard times, you know?
Yeah. And I'm curious, you know, it seems like that knit, you guys have such a tight knit group and like what we don't see too much of like what goes on besides like game day. Like what is like a normal week for the specialists? Like, what's the practices? Like, what are you guys doing during the week?
Yeah. So early on in the week, usually last year or last season, Wednesday and Thursday were my kicking days. I would punt on those days. And then Dustin would hit on Thursday, Friday, you know, so on Wednesday, we're getting back into the rhythm, me and Matt working the laces with each other to make sure we're all good there, getting ready for Dustin. And then from once we get our work in throughout those days, then it's working for Dustin to get everything situated with him and get all his timing down because, you know, each week you're trying to work on, you know, what you did well the game before and maybe what you could have done better, you know, and he's so it's good because me and him are very similar in the sense of, and same for Matt and same for Tristan, is we all want to be perfect every time, so you're always searching for that. How can we do this a little bit better and this and that? And we all just work really well together because we all expect the same out of each other.
That's awesome. And, it was really cool to see, it was unfortunate that Badgley went down, but it was also really cool to see that year you step in and do both. You were kicking off, punting, you were doing everything, the Swiss Army knife, if you will. Why aren't there more like dual threat kind of one kicker does everything kickers in the league? It's
hard. It's hard, especially when the job is be as close to perfect at all times. It's a lot on the body. I mean, I broke my foot that year, because I had done it in Canada, but when I came to the when I came to the NFL, I wasn't training that way to do everything again. So when I got that load of everything on there, that's how I ended up breaking my foot. And but it's for me, it's cool because I know not many guys have done it or can do it.
Yeah.
And it's a respect thing I got around the league, for doing it. And,
totally.
But there's a select few who might be able to do it, but to do it for a whole season, 17 games, at that level is doable. I mean, I've done it in Canada, but I like my job now too. You know what I mean? So, and having a guy like Dustin and who's really good at his job too, there's no reason for it.
Well, and it doesn't hurt having a punter that can also do all those jobs. And, when the situation arises, you got to do it. So we're grateful you're there for us. And I wanted to ask you, because you've been on the team, for a little bit during this kind of weird transition as like Chargers, where we went from, StubHub to SoFi. And kind of the fan base has kind of changed over the last 3 years a little bit in terms of turnout and stuff. What have you seen going from playing at like a 30,000, spectator stadium to now SoFi, it's like 70, and like the turnout, like what have you seen?
Coming from StubHub, we played some games there where we played the Packers, when we played those type of teams where they travel really well.
Yeah.
And, it's hard playing on the road, because when you're trying to catch the momentum throughout the game and this and that, and as a player, you feel the fans, you know what I mean? You feel like even there's times like, we travel well, like the Chargers, believe it or not, they travel well, like we went to Cincinnati, like we took over Cincinnati, and
that was so awesome to see. I love seeing that.
That was cool, and just to see like this organization, how it's changed just in the 3 years, it's cool because throughout the fan base, throughout the players, throughout ownership, everything, it's like you got everyone sort of working together to try to for the main goal, you know what I mean? Which we all know what it is, and it's cool because as the players, you feel the fans and you hear them. And when we make those big plays and the place goes nuts, it's unbelievable. It's a great feeling.
Yeah. And for us that, it's diehard fans, we've been fans for 20 plus years. It's like, it gets so annoying. Everyone telling us Chargers don't have fans. I'm like, we have fans. They're just like, we're finally getting our season tickets and getting into our new stadium. And it's like, I just wish we got a little more respect for that. And I love that you're saying that. You're saying like as the season goes, like because we get the mic'd up and we hear the players like it's getting a little loud in here. Like it's getting some of the defensive players. So I'm glad that we're able to do that and help the players out.
That's the part about being a professional athlete too, man, is like blocking out all the noise.
Sure.
And I suggest that for the fans too. Like the people who are saying it, do they actually go to games?
No,
probably not. Right. No. So it's like their opinions don't matter.
Yeah. It's mostly Raider fans who have no good arguments whatsoever. That's all they got.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it was nice to beat them in SoFi, and we should have beat them in Vegas. But
the
Vegas game was nuts.
So wild. Yeah. I'll ask you about that in a little bit because that was just insane. And then I wanted to ask you a little bit, same thing, kind of comparison. You were at the very last year of Phil. You had Phil on your team. And now, we had that odd, interesting year where it was like Tyrod that became Justin and now Justin. So what was it like having Phil and Justin? They're they're very different quarterbacks, but man, the energy is so much fun to watch.
Yeah. So they both are elite. That's the one comparison. Playing with Phil was so cool just because you're getting to learn and listen to a guy who has seen it all, I grew up, being in Atlanta, but I was always I'm not going to say I was a Falcons fan growing up, but I grew up a Chargers fan because of the powder blue jerseys. I just always liked the powder blue jerseys, right? And play with Madden with him, play with Phil, and getting to meet him. I mean, he's unbelievable. Like human player, everything, awesome. And then you get Justin Herbert, who comes in here and is just this quiet leader who just does his work, is going to do his job. And, the one thing I love about him is I'm a big competitor, like in anything. If we're at the golf course, I'm going to try to beat you, this and that. And I hate losing. The one person I've met that hates losing more than me is Justin Herbert. Like on the ping pong table, when we've played golf, like seeing him, how competitive he is, the kid's a freaking winner. And that's what's cool about him is he does all the right things. And, the Chargers are in the fan base. You got your quarterback. You know what I mean? He's on and off the field. He's awesome. He's a great person, great kid, and just a great dude.
That's awesome. And I wanted to ask you about the ping pong because we saw something that was very vague. We saw like a bracket in the beginning of the year. There was like a whole bracket, and you were up there a little higher, weren't you?
Yeah, I was the 2 seed, and I ended up losing to Steven Anderson in the championship game on crazy shot, but it was so much fun, man. Like early on in the year, everyone's bodies are feeling good. We had a little extra juice and this and that. So when we had downtime, we were playing this ping pong tournament, and it was so much fun. Like the championship game, there was like the whole team was surrounded.
Oh no!
In this game, it was actually really cool. So, but we played a lot of it during our downtime, and it was cool team camaraderie and all that. And it was a lot of good players on the team.
We're pulling for you next year. You're going to get that W.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to ask you too, we had Braden Fajoko on and Matt on, and we were talking a little bit about like what it's like going to other, stadiums and the craziest stuff these guys have heard from opposing fans. And Braden said, you're solid. You got the talk back good. You know how to get them. So what is it like? What is some of the craziest stuff you've ever heard coming from opposing fans?
I can't say the real stuff. You know what I mean?
But, A lot of beeps.
I think that's what a lot of it is, when I've had stuff thrown at me, and it's not big stuff, French fries, I'm not going to name the place, but, as a specialist, you get, they come at you because you're right there against the wall, pretty warming up everything. So they're on you for 4 hours, and,
oh man.
Yeah. So the one thing you get good at is you're just talking to yourself the entire game. Like the whole time, literally for 4 hours, I'm just talking to myself, trying to make sure I can't hear the outside noise. And, I'll say this, the juicy stuff that I hear, I can't say because, it is, people say some bad things.
I'm sure.
Yeah. But, man, people say some funny stuff, man. And it's like, you just hear them and you're just like, all right, man, I hope you have a better night. If that's how you feel, I hope you have a better night, so, yeah. But in this business, you get pretty good at just ignoring that stuff.
It's got to be good, like especially like a walk off or something where you can run past them and Philly. Like peace.
Philly was awesome. I didn't even punt in the Philly game, but they that place was wild. Philadelphia, their fan base is diehard.
Yeah.
So when hitting that game winner, game-winning field goals, that's the one thing I miss about kicking field goals is I miss those moments, but holding, it's the same thing. And just being a part of the operation and helping Dustin do whatever he can is cool. So when you have those moments, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's just I have so much respect for like just the process. Like the snap needs to be perfect, the hold needs to be perfect, and the kick, like you got like it's just a crazy, like it's something I don't think people think about that much, like how important every one of those moving parts are. Because how many of those 3 moving parts do you get in a play? There's not many like that.
so much goes into it. Like if people saw the amount of reps that me and Matt and Dustin do on a weekly basis, I mean, so many reps, and the job is too, it's like, there's sometimes where, like Dustin saves us and there's times where we save him, whatever it is, and that's the thing about us together is being there to make sure, like, my job is to do my job as best I can every time. Same for Matt, same for Dustin. And, so much goes into it.
Does it ever flash? Have you seen Ace Ventura?
No.
Okay. So in Ace Ventura, there's the whole thing at the end is all about laces out. And there's this kicker that goes crazy and he's like loses his mind at the end. It's this whole wrap up and it's like laces out. He's just like loses his mind and focuses on it for decades. How stressful is it to get that thing around and get the laces perfect?
And with a good snapper like Matt, the thing that's crazy about it is the way to be a good holder and to be a good snapper is you got to catch the ball at the same exact spot every time. It's like, even if I'm that much off, that is literally half a rotation to where I'm here. You know what I mean? Wow. Yeah. It's like that much. If I catch it just a little bit deeper, the laces could be here, and those are tough, and, it's just a feel thing. You feel it with your hands. You don't really see it with your eyes. It's like, I'll feel it with my thumb and it's here, and, it's just, like I said, it's the same thing with everyone. So many reps, so many everything that, it's so when the game's on the line, you're ready to go. Awesome.
All right. Well, we'll get you out of here on this. We went to our website and we had some people post some questions for you. And we got one from Morthinian. He said, so Ty, if NFL changed the punting rules and you had to punt something other than a football, what would you punt?
Soccer ball.
Good answer.
I never played soccer, but I think that's logically probably the only thing that
unless they made like a Nerf soccer ball that had like extra velocity and could go 300-yard punts, that'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. And but probably soccer ball.
All right, well, thank you for that, and then thank you so much, Ty, for your time, man. It was such a pleasure meeting you, and thank you everything you've done for us fans last few years, and we look forward to a whole bunch more. Yeah, brother. No, it's great to meet you guys. Thank you for everything you do, and for the diehard fans and the Charger fans, just for myself and the team, you guys are greatly appreciated. We appreciate that. We'll talk to you. Hopefully talk to you soon. All right, brother. See you, man. Take it easy.